This episode is brought to you by Opill, the first over-the-counter daily birth control pill available in the U.S. Opill is FDA approved, full prescription strength, and estrogen-free. Plus, there's no prescription needed. Finally, the days of needing a prescription for birth control are over. Opill is available online and at most major retailers. Take control of your health and reproductive journey with Opill. Birth control in your control. Use code BIRTHCONTROL for 25% off your first month of Opill at opill.com.
Coming up on this episode of DL Weekly, ticket prices have increased. Magic key holders can experience Tiana's Bayou adventure early. New costumes for Bayou Country.
We have an opening date for Lewis's Critter Club, new mobile order locations, and a cast member celebrates 62 years. We talk about Paint the Night and more. DL Weekly starts now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome aboard the DL Weekly podcast. Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding. If this is your first time listening, we hope you'll check out our website at DLWeekly.net. If you have more time to spend, becoming an official weekly tier at DLWeekly.net/support is an especially good value. Thanks for traveling with us today, and we hope you have a happy and memorable listen to this week's episode.
Well, hello and welcome to this episode of DL Weekly for the week of October 16th, 2024. I'm Tag Bushman.
And I'm Teresa Urban. We would like to thank everyone who supports the show, but this week we would like to give a special shout out to Shannon C., Mike M., Jillian E., and Michael M. for your continued support. If you would like to help support the show and get an ad-free version of the episodes, plus access to our supporter-only chat and a bunch of fun other perks like hangouts and live streams, head on over to DLWeekly.net/support and become an official weekly tier.
Now let's get to the news.
Extra, extra, read all about it. DL Weekly reports from intrepid correspondents Tag and Teresa. You heard it here first, ladies and gents. Breaking news!
Well, as we suspected, the price for a day in the parks has gone up. Single day and park hopper tickets saw a 5.9% to a 6.5% increase, except for the Tier 0 ticket, which remains at $104 since 2019. Lightning Lane also increased by $2 if you buy it in advance. As for Magic Keys, they have also seen an increase from 6.1% or $100 for the highest Inspire level pass to 20% or $100 for the lowest Imagine level pass.
So I'm just going to say this. Nobody likes price increases. I get it.
You don't?
I get it, right?
I love paying more.
It stinks. It stinks. But it's just kind of part of what this is, right? It's a supply and demand. Disneyland is so awesome, as we all know, because we love it so, so much. That, that this is just kind of this is just the yearly thing that they do. Is it greed? Yes. I think obviously because it's a big corporation. They can kind of charge what they want to charge. But I don't know. I guess I've just maybe it's because we've been reporting on it for the past 7 years that it's happening. I'm not as phased or as upset about it anymore. I'm just kind of like, oh, yep, that time of year again. Like, again, not happy about it, not like celebrating, but I don't get all out of sorts about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I do think the one kind of disingenuous, maybe is the right word, thing that they've done is they've kept that Tier 0 at $104. There's just less Tier 0 days. I think it's so they can be like, well, we have tickets that start at $104.
I almost wish I get why they went to the tiered system, but I also wish they went away with the tiered system because I do think having the tiered park day thing might actually mess with crowds more than it helps crowds, because the whole thought process, right, was, the busiest days we're going to charge more because there's a ton of people wanting to come in, so we got to kind of level that out, right? Well, I don't know. I think now we have the opposite problem, that it's because the top days are very expensive that you're seeing a ton of demand for the low days. So I don't know. I almost feel like, again, I'm not, like, economics is not my thing. I don't understand how this whole thing ebbs and flows and works, but I feel like if they found a good midpoint and that was just the ticket price, I'm talking single day tickets.
Yeah.
That might help level things out, because Halloween, Christmas time, there are certain times of year that are always just going to be crazy busy and people will buy the tickets because they just really want to be in there and that's important to them. So they're going to pay those higher prices. Whereas other folks, maybe it doesn't matter what time of the year they're going. So they're going to go the more economical way, which I'm all for that. but I don't know. I feel like it's always busy.
Yeah, I still think, I know people disagree, and it's hard when you're trying to plan like a family vacation and stuff like that it's kind of pricey. But I still think objectively, it's still a great value for what Disney has. And a lot of people, we have a Mice Chat article linked in the show notes about this. There's a lot of people in the comments there that are complaining that the prices keep going up, but we're getting less for that. Like the quality has gone down so they point to things like that there's not a show in the Fantasyland Theater right now. There's not a show in the Hyperion right now. There's not a show in the Golden Horseshoe right now. You know, all these things that aren't there that were there before. There's some people that I think were a little ridiculous too, that were talking about how there's in the last few months, there's been quite a few things closed. But I'd like to remind everybody that things have to close at some point because they need to be renovated. They need to be refurbished. They need to be expanded upon. The fact that they're investing money into the park, I think, is really good. And people need to realize, not everything can be open all the time. Somebody said, well, in the back in the day, stuff was never closed. And I was like, well, that's not true, because stuff was closed.
Yeah.
The difference is there's really not an off season anymore. They used to do all this stuff in the off season, and there really isn't an off season anymore because demand is so high. People are going whenever they can, whenever it fits into their stuff. Plus Disney keeps doing stuff. You know, we have all the different food events and all the different holidays that they're celebrating and everything. So I don't know. I still think I don't want to pay more for the parks either, to be fair, but I still think it's a good value. I don't think that I don't even know, maybe this would be a good thing we got to talk about at some point, is what we think is the peak for us. At what price point would we be we're not going to go anymore? I don't know what that would be. I feel like it would have to be fairly high.
Well, I don't know. Not going anymore, period. Yeah.
Look at it. So I mean, obviously there's two answers, right? Because there's the daily ticket answer, and then there's the magic key answer, because those things are different. So it's for us in the Midwest, which we actually were talking about before the show a little bit, is because we renewed our keys not knowing when the keys might go on sale again, and we wanted to make sure we had those. But now, which we'll talk about in a minute, rumor has it that they may go back on sale before the end of the year, which if we would have known that, maybe we would have let them lapse, because we're not having a trip between now and when they might go back on sale.
Yep, 100%.
So that's what, 2 months, 3 months maybe of wasted key that we're not going.
That would be nice, as if there was an option. We're just going to spitball things because maybe somebody's listening. You never know. That if there was some sort of option for folks like us that are out of state key holders, or just maybe key holders that aren't, right there and local, that don't have the flexibility to go as often as one would like. If there was an option when you renewed your key that your use date didn't start on the date of renewal, it started on it's like when you first buy the ticket, right? When you first buy, you can buy a ticket at any time, but your clock doesn't start until the first day you scan in. Same thing with the first time you buy a key, the clock on it doesn't start until the first day that you scan in. It'd be nice if they did that with renewals. I could see how that would be maybe logistically not very easy for them to do, but that would be awesome.
What I think the ultimate solution would be for this is annual passes should be a block of tickets you buy. That there's not block out dates. It's not good 200 days out of the year. It's, here you go, Teresa. You paid, I don't know. You paid $1,000. Here's 5 tickets. Here's 5. Well,
you've got a bad deal, sir.
Okay, here's 15 tickets.
Sure, yeah.
That you can use whenever, but you only get those 15. And then if you want tickets beyond that, maybe you get a discount beyond that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that that's the way that you would cut down on this, because one of the big things people said in the comments of this article too, that a lot of people go a couple times, 2 to 3 times a week, and they go in the evening, and so now you're taking up a reservation that
I'd do that though. I would 100% be that person.
But see, then that's a whole nother conversation we can have about how they really should just get rid of reservations as well.
I think there should be day reservations and evening reservations.
Well, see, other Disney parks around the world have evening tickets that you can buy that are a little bit cheaper. So I don't know why they don't do something like that. I don't know. I feel like I'm sure there's a bunch of data that Disney has that shows that for whatever reason the things we're suggesting are not good ideas for them. But I feel like they should try stuff. They had such a great opportunity when there was no annual pass holder program after COVID that they could have revamped and started fresh, and they didn't. So we'll have to wait and see.
Do you want to know something crazy? So just in the time that I have been a Magic Key holder or an annual pass holder, just period in my life, because I was new to this. I didn't get my first annual pass until 2019.
And you had the first,
and that was the
Pass.
Flex Pass, and I loved it. The Flex Passport in 2019, that was the perfect pass for people like us that are always going to be planning our trips ahead of time because travel's involved and all that. It was $599 for that.
Mm-hmm.
What did we just renew at? Like almost double?
We renewed at $12.49.
Yeah, we renewed at $12.49. My first pass was $5.99.
Yep.
It is, yeah. In the short
Over
period
double.
of time that I have been an annual pass holder / Magic Key holder, the price has doubled. And yes, there are different options. We could be going with lower tiers, but unfortunately those don't work with how our travel schedule works. There's all sorts of arguments, but just first pass to current pass, yeah, it's doubled already, which is crazy. I will say I understand, and I'm with those folks that are saying it's really tough to be able to swallow the price increases when the entertainment is lacking. We're talking about this later. Don't worry. We did not forget about the big teaser from Disney parks earlier this week. In fact, we're dedicating our entire discussion topic to it, but we don't have as many parades or nighttime things. And maybe some of the entertainment that we have has been scaled back recently. So it is a little harder to swallow the price increase pill. But yeah, unfortunately, it's something that we're going to continue to see every year. And everybody who loves Disney parks and Disneyland just as much as we do, it's just, every year you kind of have to just reevaluate and figure out what makes the most sense. Soon it might be that Tag and I don't do the passes and it actually makes more sense to just buy tickets because we're not able to get out there as often.
And the good thing about that,
it would make sense.
The reservation calendar is much more open for the day tickets. And we can do stuff like what I really would like to do is do sometimes there's some years is do like a New Year's,
Yep. Where there's everything's blacked out anyways. But yeah, let's move on to some happier news, shall we?
Sure.
Well, Magic Key holders have a chance to experience Tiana's Bayou Adventure before the general public. On select days from October 21st through November 12th, key holders can book a reservation for Disneyland and join a virtual queue at 7 a.m. A second virtual queue will open at 12 p.m. If you aren't a Magic Key holder or can't make it on those dates, don't worry, the attraction opens to the general public on November 15th. For the exact dates and times, please visit the link in our show notes.
Yeah, there's quite a list. It's not a contiguous days, and what I mean by that is the days are like the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 25th, 26th, 27th, 29th. So there's some days in there,
but
and they're not the whole
weekends.
days either.
There's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday lump in there.
In that one, and some also in November. Mm-hmm. But all of these are not necessarily like some of the ones in October are like 3 to 9 p.m. only. There's a 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on a couple of the weekend days. So look at the calendar in there to pick out which one will work for you.
That is a really good point.
So
it's not like a typical virtual queue that you join and the attractions open from park open to park close. It's only sections of time throughout the day.
Yeah. And it could go down because it's in previews.
Yeah.
Like they might have issues.
I don't know why. This is like extra exciting. It's not even something that we're going to be able to participate in, but I'm just so excited at the idea of this because I feel like annual pass previews has kind of specifically been a Walt Disney World thing. And we didn't really have we had a Magic Key holder preview for a new attraction prior to this? I can't.
What was the last new attraction?
Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
I don't remember if there was or not.
I know they had cast member previews.
Yeah. I know that we've had Magic Key stuff. I think there was wasn't there Magic Key stuff for like
there was one
Tiana's
of the times
Palace
that we were there. There was like an extra hour that was open for the Haunted Mansion just for Magic Key holders. So I don't know why. I'm just really excited.
Yeah.
If it's not the first, it is one of the first.
It's a good perk.
I really can't remember now if. I feel like a fake person now that I can't remember.
Do you think it adds value to a Magic Key to have opportunities to ride things before everybody else?
I think it definitely gets more excitement going. Because I do think, right, the Magic Key holder, we're there. The Magic Key holders are probably your toughest critics So I think it's good to kind of like give them a taste of what it is ahead of time to get people like, either calm the nerves, get them excited, whatever you want to say. But you do also run that risk that the people are going to go through and be like, ooh, what did they do here?
Well, it probably works well for cast who are being trained on it too, because pass holders probably, I don't know for sure, but I would assume because they go more often, kind of understand how the process is supposed to work.
That's true.
And so it's probably a little easier on cast members than like visitors who have never been to a Disney park before and have no idea how any of this stuff works.
Well, and like a little bit more patient because, again, Magic Key holders are going more frequently, so they aren't having to rush to pack in all of the things because they have a very limited time. They can it's a little bit more relaxed, so that might also be good for the training environment, because then if things do go wrong and maybe there's some sort of breakdown and you're on the ride. I'm not saying that's great. Nobody likes that, but at least it's not like the family who came from the other side. It's their once in a
lifetime trip.
Yeah.
And they're stuck on an attraction for hours.
Yep. So I'm excited. If you are a Magic Key holder and you're going to go experience this, I'm so excited for you.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll see tons of stuff online too.
And let us know what you think for sure.
With Tiana's Bayou Adventure opening to the public in just under a month, some new costumes have debuted. Cast members in Bayou Country from custodial, entertainment, dining, shopping, and attractions will all get new outfits. As with most of the new costumes around the resort, it appears that cast members will get to choose from a selection to make the look their own.
Mm-hmm. There's so many different variations here, which this is interesting. I like that they're going towards this. They did this in Toontown as well, where you can kind of like...
Galaxy's Edge too.
Yep, in Galaxy's Edge, where you can kind of mix and match and make your own outfit, whereas some of the other areas and lands are still everyone's like, if you're attractions, you're wearing this, if you're this, you're wearing that, like it's all very set, whereas these look like very interchangeable. They did show like, this is specifically retail, this is specifically attractions, this is specifically entertainment, but honestly it's really the only one that's obvious to me is custodial. The rest of them, you could have told me it was this, that, or the other, and I would have believed you that the attractions outfit could be what is being worn for like food and beverage, because they're kind of all related, because that's kind of what the land is though, because you've got Tiana's Bayou Adventure is featuring Tiana and her restaurant and all that, so makes sense. They look fun.
They do. I like the colors with it. It's a lot of like earthy tones. You got like the browns and the greens, and you got the purples and oranges, which are kind of Tiana kind of like.
And they all have, there's fun hats. You've got like a hat like what Tiana's wearing on the attraction. You've got what I call like a driver's cap. Vern would be in heaven working in this area.
Love the fact that like the custodial stuff is just like a brown apron and like something for your hat, like a hat or a scarf or something in your hair.
It's something. Yeah, it's the traditional custodial
white,
but it's got a little something extra.
Yeah.
A little special spice, if you will. A new shopping location in Bayou Country has an official opening date. Yes, that's right. Lewis's Critter Club will open on November 13th. Walls are already down around the new location, as well as most of Bayou Country, providing a glimpse into the rethemed areas. Colorful new artwork adorns the outside of the attraction building, and the queues across from Winnie the Pooh is themed to a garden where Tiana is harvesting ingredients for her restaurant.
Okay, so I want to take you on this journey.
Oh.
So Monday, I was on Instagram and I saw David from Fresh Baked, our friend David over at Fresh Baked, had like a story that he was in Bayou Country and the walls were down. He's like, look at this, like you can see everything, blah, blah. Well, Monday is usually when he posts his construction update. So he said, by the time you see this, there'll probably be a video up that we go more into this. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm like, maybe he added it to the construction video. So I watched the construction video. I got through the whole construction video and it was nothing. And I was like, where is it, David? And then as soon as I got out of that video, you know what the first recommended video was? A separate video that he had made just about the walls being down. So this looks great. The queue area, I think, looks really nice. It has some nice added, like I said, there's like a garden section there. There's like a little table with gardening tools and stuff. And there's music and stuff playing already. So I love seeing that this area is ready for guests. The only area that's really behind anything anymore is
like right where the drop
raised
is, right?
berets. And that's it. The walls are down like everywhere else.
The walls are down on the bridge too?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, look at the link that we had for the costumes. There's a picture there right in front of there. There's
right.
no wall.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't even catch that. I was too busy being distracted by the amazing new costume.
Yeah. So how exciting that everything is finally coming along. The only thing we don't have an opening date for is Ray's Berets. He's that little bug's taking his time, which is okay. I want to talk about the murals that have been updated and added to the queue. So we saw this in Walt Disney World, that there was a big, large mural on the side of their entrance building. We talked about this a few weeks ago, actually, that we were like, I feel like that there's going to be artwork for ours somewhere, but I don't understand how it would work on our entrance building, because it's just a different building, different size, all that stuff. It didn't have kind of the one side that Walt Disney World had that acts as a canvas. I really like what they did here. What they did was they did 4-5 mini murals next to the entrance building, and it's like where the queue area is, the elevated queue area. So it's just like the wall of what would have been like the little half wall there. And each of those sections, there's 5 sections, has its own little mini mural. I think that was a really fun, smart way to incorporate the artwork for Disneyland as well. The only part of this queue thing that I think is odd is where the lightning lane thing, it just seems like it comes really far out awkwardly into the main pathway.
Oh, sure.
Which we kind of knew from when the construction walls were around it, but still, it just feels weird. I don't know. I feel like they could have done something different with it, but I think it's going to be fine.
This area before, wasn't this a zigzag? You went back and forth. This was a...
Honestly, I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure that it went out further.
But what do you think?
Maybe not as far, but I feel like that there was a switchback back there.
Yeah. But what do you think of the queue area?
I think the queue area is cute.
There's trees for shade.
There are trees. They're little baby trees right now, but they will grow up to be big and strong shade trees one day. And they're gorgeous trees. I really like. They're very interesting, I think, to look at. They're not just a regular old tree, but I like the fencing that they put in here for the queues. Mm-hmm. There is, like you said, there's a little tiny garden table for all of the gardening supplies. There's little displays. I can see Brussels sprouts in one of the garden displays there. It's cute. Like the fence stuff, the style of the fence, I think works for the overall theme of the queue being like the garden. But I also think it works for, I'm going to say this wrong intentionally, what Critter Country felt like before. Because Winnie the Pooh also has kind of like that little spaced out picket fence looking thing. So I think it works really, really well for the attraction and for the overall feel of the land. But it is now Bayou Country. I did that intentionally because Critter Country was a little bit more like how it felt like it in being put together. Like you almost felt like it was rustic. That's a good way of saying it. It was very rustic. And this still has that rustic kind of feel. Yeah.
I like it. I'm excited to see what it all looks like. You know, what it's like to be in the queue and stuff. I think they've done a really nice job. I love having those things in the queue to look at and not just have.
It'll be interesting. Now,
stuff.
Do you think that they're stationary or do you think that these plants might have a little bit of movement?
That's a great question. I don't know.
I think it's a different park. I don't think it's not Disneyland, but is it Walt Disney World maybe that their Winnie the Pooh queue has but you can hear critters that are trying to steal the carrots and stuff like that?
Well, Toontown, Mickey's Barn has that too.
Yep, that too.
I will tell you, and this is really terrible of me, and I think apparently really, I don't think very highly of guests, but the first thing I thought about when I saw the prop stuff is I was like, oh, this looks nice. I wonder how long it's going to be before people throw their garbage on it or try to steal parts of it, because we've seen that in the Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway queue, which I find very sad.
These are a little further away, though, so maybe it'll be less tempting for folks to grab at. I also want to talk real quick about Lewis's Critter Club. We have not seen inside yet because as we mentioned, it's not opening until November 13th. But there's something about this sign. I don't know what it is. It is a gorgeous wood carved sign, similar to the one that's over I'm fairly certain it's all the same artist. That's over Winnie the Pooh there.
Sure.
Also, we have a really beautiful carved wood sign over by the Adventureland Treehouse inspired by the Swiss Family Robinson. And there's there's other wood carving things that are out there, but I don't know what it is. I just think this is perfect. It looks so, so good. There's a beautiful photo that Mice Chat shared in their article that is it lit up at night. I just love it. I'm excited. I'm really excited to see this in person.
Yeah, this area looks great at night. Well, weekly tiers who enjoy skipping the line for food at the parks will be excited that 2 locations have added mobile ordering. Dole Whips are on mobile order at the Tropical Hideaway starting today, the day this podcast goes live. And Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta will also add mobile ordering. This should cut down the waits at these locations to get your favorite treats, if those are the 2 kind of things you want.
I will say this. Yay, more access to Dole Whip. But I'm hesitant on this one because how Tropical Hideaway is currently set up, I'm trying to think how you're adding mobile order in here without further making that standby line more of a glacial pace than it already is. I think that they need to do some retooling just to make that a little bit better because it's a little awkward because it's one big line. The menu isn't until you get to the front of the line. So, of course, a lot of people don't know what it is they want until they're being asked what they want. Mm-hmm. And sometimes because cast members are trying to like get ahead and get people through, they're coming out from behind the counter, which is great. I love it. They're trying to be more efficient. They're coming out from around the counter and asking people what they want. But literally, if this is your first time ever going to Tropical Hideaway, you haven't even gotten to see what the menu is quite yet. The other thing, too, is you have this one long line that ends at the Dole Whip counter, but what if you just want lumpia or bao or something that's at one of the further stations? They need to separate this out a little bit better, and I think they need to bring the menu into the further up into the queue for the line as well. So I'm a little hesitant that this actually might make it worse. The only way this made a lot of sense to me was if they started offering the specialty Dole Whips through mobile order, because you already have Dole Whip available to you via mobile order over at the Dole Whip stand over by the Tiki Room there, which I think a lot of people may forget about. And that one's a little weird because it's mobile order only, no standby.
On the one side, right? Or is it both now?
Both now. The whole thing's just mobile order only. Whereas Tropical Hideaway is standby only. But it looked like from screenshots, it looked like the specialty things weren't. Like you'd still have to wait in line to get the specialty things.
Correct.
Maybe you can get the swirls where it's, like the raspberry and the mango and that kind of stuff. But if you want like the specialty floats and that, you still have to wait in the line. So I'm curious how this is going to work.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry, cast members that work in food service at Disneyland, but I just want to mention something that I feel like I've observed a lot, which is the Tropical Hideaway suffers from this, just like Pim Test Kitchen, I think, is like a serious offender of this, and also Alien Pizza Planet, is when we've ordered before, Pim, I'm going to use Pim as an example, because Pim is the most obvious one. If you look in the rear part of the counter where you get your food, there is a ton of every menu item just sitting back there ready to be handed out to guests. And you order and you pay and you walk up to the window, or you get your mobile order and you walk up and you tell them the number, and then the cast member leisurely walks over and grabs your first thing and brings it back and then looks at the list, and then leisurely walks over again to do the next thing. And so I just don't understand. I understand that like you're there for 8 or 9 hours a day and you're feeding people, and like you can't go at supersonic speeds, but you can go a little bit faster than this.
Well,
and it's not like they're waiting for the food. And that's how I feel with the Dole Whip, is like I've asked for Dole Whip, but then they're just kind of like, maybe they need more machines, because I feel like sometimes they're like waiting for the person in front of them to get done. And it's just like, I don't know. It's just not. A lot of the lines at food locations, I feel like, are not because the food is taking a long time. It's either because it's not set up in a way that allows the cast members to give it to you quickly, or the cast members just don't seem particularly in a hurry to try to give you your food.
I would say that I'd blame more just overall efficiency, because I've watched sometimes, like, depending on where you are, that, like you said, like the cast member, they grab like one thing at a time sort of thing, which that's got to be like a training thing, because that's just not efficient, right? Why would you only grab go back and forth in the same back and forth, whatever. So I don't know. And I don't know what the answer is, obviously. And I'm sure Disney's trying to figure out what the best answer is. But yeah, if there was a way to make things more efficient so that the cast members didn't have to do as much running around to then get all the things out to the people, because let's face it, the lines are never ending. So
Yeah.
I could easily see getting into the thought process of, it doesn't matter if I'm sprinting or if I'm a snail, the line's never going to go away. I'm never going to have a break. So why am I going to, burn all of my energy just to, I can understand that, like, getting in that mindset, because when have you ever gone to like the Tropical Hideaway? It's like, you feel like you've won the lottery if you walk up to a place like the Tropical Hideaway and there isn't a line. You're like, oh, how does nobody, So
Right.
I get it, but I just wish, like, and that's a good one with Tropical Hideaway. Yeah. Like, there's only so many machines. So if somebody's at the machine that you need, you just got to stand and wait.
I do want to say that there is one aspect that has gotten better with buying stuff literally anywhere on property. I want to say like 2 years ago now, every time you went to a cashier anywhere, didn't matter if it was buying merchandise, buying food, didn't matter. Their system was just slow. Like, they would type in the order and then like you'd hit the button to like pay, and it would take what felt like forever for like the PIN pad to be ready to accept your payment. And then like you'd scan and it would seem like it would take forever. And I was like, well, this is why the lines are so long, is because the point of sale system is just super sluggish. Whatever system they have now, it's so much faster. And I've noticed it because like I like buying pickles. And one of the things was like, it would just take forever to buy a pickle or a churro because like the point of sale system was just, she'd hit the button and then had to wait. And lately it's been pretty quick.
Yeah.
So I do want to commend Disney that they've fixed that, because in the years that we've been in this podcast, 7 years, I'm pretty sure they've had like 3 or 4 different point of sale systems, which a place as large as Disneyland, that's a huge undertaking to like switch point of sale systems. So good on them, I guess. But anyway.
Well, and the other thing too,
hurrah for mobile order.
I'm thinking back about this too. I think mobile order might also be clogging some of this.
Sure.
Because think of like PIM. If you're in the standby line, you've got 1, maybe 2 cashiers. But then same thing, you only have like 1, maybe 2 people fulfilling all of those orders. Whereas you've got umpteen other people that might just be sitting there waiting for the next mobile order to pop through because they're on mobile orders.
Sure.
So I think that is kind of, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I'll be honest. I've worked fast food. I've never worked in an actual kitchen, but I would think that if they had, I don't know, maybe like different stations, I'm sure they've tried things and tried to make it easier on the cast, easier on the consumers.
I would love to know if there's anybody who has insight into this that can write in DLWeekly.net, click the contact us page. There's a form there. You can be anonymous or whatever. And just kind of I'm just curious, is there a reason for it? Like, I'm sure that we're just not understanding some part of the business or training or something. And I just want to understand, like, I don't fault the cast members. I just feel it must be something with training or something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm glad that they're having that. I don't think the Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta need anything, because I've never been back there when there's been a line for anything.
Yeah. Well, and same thing like with Alien Pizza Planet. Actually, I think mobile order might actually be bottlenecking it more so. So I'm hoping that that's not the case with these 2 locations, that this might create more of a bottleneck than not. But the best thing about mobile order, they did this for Rancho, is if they try it and it's not working, they can undo it.
That's true.
They can undo it. So
I feel like you might be right with Tropical Hideaway, that it might be something that they don't keep, because you're right. It is a smaller location and there's really not a lot of room for the traffic setup. Yeah.
Like with how the line is, like how traffic flows and where like the stations are.
Yeah.
The setup would be interesting. So we will see.
Yeah.
Well, a new vibrant puppet has been added to the existing Coco show in Disney California Adventure. Pepita now takes flight along with the telling of the story. Concept art had Pepita there, and who else? Dante was also shown in the concept art. So Pepita has made her grand appearance.
Maybe Dante in the future. It seems like there's some things delayed. I love this. This thing looks fun. It was really hard for me when writing the script today to not say Pepita on a stick. Because she's at the end of this stick, which is kind of funny, but looks really vivid. The artistry on it, as always, they've done a really great job on it. So it's nice that they're adding stuff to a show that's already premiered. But it's always great to
and a show that's already popular too.
Yeah. Well, in the saga of water filling stations, we have another entry, another themed water filling station has come to the resort. This time, it is across from the exit to Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and it is themed to like a tree stump with some like metal accents and stuff. So you were saying this isn't the one you thought, because you thought the one by the front was going to be replaced, I thought.
No. There was, I don't remember if there was a water station or like a fountain here before, but all of a sudden walls went up there, and I was suspecting that we might be getting an updated water filling station / fountain here. Genuinely, I don't remember I think there was a fountain there before. Maybe not. I don't know. I feel like a crazy person because
to be honest, I don't know where any of the water I never really paid attention to where water fountains were in the park because I didn't really use them except for the water filling ones. And now these are popping up everywhere.
I love that they're popping up everywhere. Now, I will be honest, of the new water bottle filling stations, this is probably my least favorite as far as like theming and decor goes, but it works for the area. I don't know what else you would have done.
But also remember, Alice wasn't fully themed for a little while.
That's true.
They could add like an animal to the top.
There could be a topper. You know what? You're not wrong there, Tag. You're not wrong, because it isn't as tall as the other ones. Mm-hmm. So maybe the best is yet to come. We will find out. And we knew that Alice wasn't fully done because we used it when it was just the purple thing, and we were all excited that it existed, and then all of a sudden they did all this wonderful decoration and theming on it. We're like, whoa, look at this. The one back in Bayou Country debuted with all the theming already on it, so it was fully done. So you're right, this could be like the Fantasyland one, that perhaps maybe there's more to come. But again, I don't care what it looks like. I am happy that it's there and that it's functional, because we needed more water filling stations.
You know what else I noticed?
Desperately.
Not a line.
No line.
Because now there's more of these. I feel like they're more accessible.
Yes.
Because people aren't trying to use the like 3 water filling stations in the park.
In the entire land, yeah.
Do they need to start adding these at DCA too?
DCA, yes. DCA is lacking in the water filling station.
Does DCA have any? Is there one at Avengers Campus?
There isn't, and I always feel like there should be.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll make their way over there at
maybe
some point.
There's now you're making me think.
So according to the Disneyland app, by the way, if you just search bottle filling, you can actually view it on the map. There are 3 in Disney California Adventure. There's one at the Grizzly Peak Airfield restrooms. There's one at the Ancient Sanctum in Avengers Campus. And there's one at the restrooms in San Francisco Square. If you're in the Grand Californian, there's also one in the Eureka Fitness Center.
I always forget about the one at the Sanctum. I always assume the water bottle filling station should be near the restrooms at Avengers Campus, which is not true. There is a water fountain back there. But yeah, I had forgotten about that one until you said that.
Did you know that there was one back in Toontown near Chippendale's Gadget Coaster? Not the one at the bathroom, because there's one at the bathroom too.
Oh, there's another one.
But there's one back by the Chippendale's Gadget Coaster in that like back almost like quiet area.
There we go.
And let me just look here. Apparently there's one, at the Galactic Grill. That was like the one that's in Rancho. Yes. And then there's also one over by the Autopia.
Yep. I knew about that one too.
None on Main Street.
Very
that
cool.
is a travesty.
Not yet, Tag. Not yet.
I want to see what that one would be themed like. I think that'd be cool. Maybe they'll put lights on it. That'd be awesome. They won't, but that'd be cool.
Well, weekly tiers who want to get their Autopia's driver's license have new booths to facilitate this. 3 new booths are at the exit of Autopia, and they look very futuristic. The booths take a photo and give guests a driver's license from the attraction. Another long overdue update has come to Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters. This is like, I almost fell out of my chair when we had a weekly tier share this, and I was like, oh, what? Can you guess what it is? Can you guess what desperately needed attention at Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters? Well, if you guess the camera that takes the on-ride photo, you are correct. It has finally been updated to newer tech from the old 90s webcam look previously. All we can say is, finally.
I remember this was like the butt of a joke, because we were looking at this, and I was like, this looks like pictures that I took when I was in high school, and I graduated in the 90s. Like, I was graduated in 2000. So I was always like, can't they just up? And they had refurbished this attraction once or twice and never changed it. And this was like, they didn't even take it down. It was just like, there's a new camera.
Can I share the funny thing that a weekly tier had emailed in?
Yeah.
They had gone on it and, like us, had gotten into the quality on this photo is terrible. I'm not even going to bother going to look at it. And they just left because that's
Fair.
what you do. Well, then they saw it like on social media. Someone's like, look, everyone, it's been updated. And they're like, dang, I could have actually had a good photo. But yeah, just that this was wild that this was like so stuck in the
Yeah.
past. So I'm glad it got updated. Now, it's not like the most crystal clear, amazing ride photo you'll ever see in your life, but it's one heck of a lot better.
This is the old one, an example of the old one. I don't know did you see the new looking one? I haven't seen a new one yet.
Oh, you're right.
Anything has to
I
be
don't know.
better
Like
than
it's
this, though.
not. I've seen ones like I'm thinking specifically of the Haunted Mansion in Walt Disney World. What that ride photo looks like, but anyways,
I'm just glad they finally did.
It's updated.
Well, speaking of updated, the Magic Key portal in the Disneyland app has been updated. The updated look features easier access to special offers, benefits, and a discount location map. For folks wanting to get a Magic Key, like we mentioned a little bit earlier in the episode, but have been unable to, Mice Chat reports that they could go back on sale before the end of the year.
Yeah, my chat was saying that typically historically, what happens is you see them go on sale again during the holiday season, so you can like give the gift of a Magic Key to a loved one, sort of thing. We don't know this for sure. Just historically, that's what has happened. Well, some new merchandise booths have appeared in downtown Disney. Kawaii Slime Company allows guests to create custom slime using fun add-ons. Havilon Company offers a wide variety of scented candles with 50% of the profits going to charity. That's awesome.
Yeah, so more of the, not like giant locations. These are the little booths that are out there.
Yeah, like the little carts.
Yeah. I love first of all, I always laugh because anytime I see anything with candles, I always think of your candle making stuff, or not candles.
My soap making
soap
stuff?
making.
Okay. I'm like, you think of me with candles.
For some reason, the candles makes me think of soap. I don't know. It's one of the things you can do that's homemade. It made me think they have a soap thing too, or there's one coming. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's not part of this news story. And I didn't realize that slime has been a trend that's been popular. I'm obviously completely out of touch.
Oh, yes. Slime is a thing.
Okay. I remember slime being a thing when I was a kid, but I don't remember slime being a thing recently.
Mm-hmm.
But this is cool because you can like do all types of cool creations and add some add-ons into it and everything. So that could be cool. Candles, always neat. And you're supporting a good cause.
This is interesting. I did not know this, but the candle company is a 50-50 company, apparently like other places in downtown Disney. This is the new part I didn't learn. In downtown Disney, we have the Blue Ribbon Corn Dogs and California Churro. And 50% of the profits are donated at all three of these places.
I did not know that.
What a cool thing. I like that. I like that a lot. But what a like amazing thing that these companies are doing. And hopefully they get lots of business so that they're able to donate lots of money. But how cool is that? That makes me want to like make sure I stop at like the corn dog and churro place, because we usually skip over them and think, oh, well, we'll just get the corn dog or the churro in the park. But
yeah,
now look at that. Now it's more worthwhile to go there so that our dollars can go a little bit further.
Yeah. If you're going to buy that stuff anyway, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
A cast member of 62 years was celebrated recently at Disneyland. Hank Ameen started working at Disneyland as a Jungle Cruise skipper in 1958. Hank then became a Disneyland Resort firefighter, monitoring pyrotechnic safety for fireworks of the nighttime spectaculars. As of October 8th, he is the longest standing employee of the Walt Disney Company, not just Disneyland.
Yeah.
For those wondering, he is 92, and when asked about retirement, he said, quote, "As long as I can smile and laugh, I'm going to be here."
I want to meet this man so bad. He seems like so happy and just a really amazing, incredible individual. He is 92 years old and has no plans of retiring. I mean, come on, how amazing is that? But not only that, he competes in like he does running. He does and did running things, but he also does the canoe races. In fact, I think he was on a winning team recently for the cast member canoe races. Mm-hmm.
Last August, Disneyland Resort firefighters dethroned the years-long reign of the Davy Crockett team, winning the fastest time.
And they did it to win one for Hank, which is so cool.
That is awesome.
But they honored Hank by having him join their triumphant victory lap. Come on, like, I want to be like, I aspire to that, to be his age and being able to still like do all these fun things and doing it with a smile on his face in his happy place. Because, yeah, his story is amazing. The Disney Parks blog did a really great write up on him, and I really encourage you to go watch it. There's also really nice on their social media accounts. They did like an interview with Hank and did like a little video kind of talking about him too. So just really, really cool.
This also explains, we had a group of weekly tiers who were in the parks.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like, they all happen to go there at the same time. A couple of them went together. So like, this is like a whole weekly tiers meeting up, hang out. They got to meet Josh Tomorrow and Bob Iger. And this was like around the same time.
It was the same day because they were wearing. They were wearing the same outfits in the photos with the weekly tiers as what they're wearing with Hank here. So it was the same day.
There's one story from Hank I just want to share quickly. One of the memories he has was having lunch with Walt Disney himself. This is a quote from him. "He started walking towards my table, but I never thought he would sit with me," shares Hank. "He pulled up a chair and he asked me questions like, 'How do you like working here? How do you like the food? What can I do?' It was maybe a 10-minute conversation. That was a wonderful memory." The fact that there's somebody still working in the park who sat down and had like a 10-minute conversation during lunch with Walt Disney, that is amazing. Definitely, like Teresa said, go read this article, go watch the thing on social media. How awesome.
Incredible. But like, this was also amazing to me too. I'll just share this really quick. His career is filled with so many things, like hosting Olympians at Disneyland in 1964. He got to watch iconic attractions like Pirates of the Caribbean be built in Haunted Mansion right before his eyes. He got to enjoy cast picnics with Walt Disney and his family. Hank also, like I said, is very active, and he won bronze, silver, and gold medal in the Disneyland 10K marathons.
Wow.
Like, come on. I'm just thinking of like how he was there for like
he's seen a lot
there for it all. Yeah, he first visited the park as a guest, I think it was in 1955.
The thing that I think is still on his honeymoon, the thing I still think was the most like crazy stat from him is that he is the longest serving person at the Walt Disney Company.
Yeah.
Like,
so impressive.
What?
So impressive.
Wow.
62 years. Well, Trader Sam's is getting into the holiday spirit, the spooky holiday spirit, with a Madame Leota mug. The mug will be available for order through the Disneyland app on October 25th. The artist behind the design, Tank Standing Buffalo, will be signing the mug. The queue for the signing will be open from 5:45 p.m. to 6:45 p.m. and then again at 8:15 to 9:15 p.m. Also available will be a limited amount of 4th edition Hatbox Ghost mugs and the Ursula Cauldron mug.
Yep, so another cool Trader Sam's thing. It's cool that there is going to be the artist there signing and doing all of that stuff. And you can order through the app as early as 7 a.m. Disneyland time on the 25th. And then the pickup hours are between 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. So that's another important detail to add into there. So pretty cool. I'm sure Teresa wishes she could add this to her collection.
This is not like a new mug, but what's new about it was the first rendition of it was, I believe, only available at Club 33.
Oh, that could be right.
So very exciting. Or maybe it wasn't available to like the public.
Sure.
But it was available at the parks before. So that's very cool. Another very exciting thing that we have to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
That is kind of a last minute ad was we have an opening date now for the Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree. It will be opening, drumroll please, on October 25th. So like right around the corner compared to when the actual attraction will be opening. So that's very, very exciting.
It looks like it's been ready to be open for a while now. I mean, through Fresh Bake's construction videos and just stuff I've seen online, it's like they haven't been doing any like work on it. I think it's just been getting the kitchens finished up and the cast trained for the new menu and everything. So that will be very exciting.
And we're just going to briefly mention this because we have opinions. So we're going to keep those to ourselves. I'm sure you all know what our opinions are. But it is newsworthy to note that the snow has started appearing on the castle, even though the official holiday time has been pushed back to start later than normal. So, yeah, there's that.
Yoo-hoo! Hello, everybody. It's me, Heimlich. My stomach is so empty. Hey, help me to go find something to eat. Come on, everybody. Here we go.
Well, this week for Snack Chat, we are covering a record amount of locations. We are covering 3 different locations because they are all a little bit on the smaller side. They have like smaller menus. So we left off with the Red Rose Tavern last week. And this week we're going to talk about Maurice's Treats, Idlewild Snacks, and Troubadour Tavern.
Starting first, we're going to stop over to say hi to our friend Maurice over at his treat stand. First of all, I just need to say this. I love the theming of this little snack cart. It's over just to the left of the castle, kind of outside of Fantasyland, but like where like the Princess Fantasy Fair is, and then there's that little theater that's over there. Maurice's Treats is tucked in back there, and if you are a fan of Beauty and the Beast, you need to stop and see the Maurice's Treats wagon because it looks like Maurice's like
cart.
Wagon and cart from the movie. I think they just it's so fun. And there's all sorts of delicious things to be had over at Maurice's Treats, including the garlic cheesy pretzel bread with a side of marinara sauce.
Which is funny because I don't know why, but in my mind, the only place that has this is Idlewild.
Well, it's
for some reason.
It used to be the cheddar, what was it? Cheddar garlic bagel twist, or there was some sort of bagel twist thing that was here prior to the cheesy garlic pretzel bread. That's gone. And I loved that bagel twist thing. It was so good.
There's a ham and cheese croissant that is available there. There's a holiday special, a trick or treat mix, which is gummy worms, M&Ms, marshmallows, and pretzel sticks that's on sale there now. Actually, that's not a bad deal. $4.
And there's also, for breakfast items, there's a cream cheese and blueberry filled Danish. I have not tried this, but I've heard wonderful things about it. But the most important things that are here, aside from the cheesy pretzel garlic bread, is the beverages. They have the Boysen Apple Freeze over there, which is frozen apple juice with like a boysenberry syrup.
It's good.
It's so good. It's got the right level of sweet and tartness, plus it's frozen, so it's amazing on a hot day. So refreshing. And then also one of my new favorite coffee beverages, there is a mocha nitro cold brew here, which is a nitro cold brew coffee topped with a mocha cream, and there is chocolate sauce drizzled inside of your cup. So I like to tell people about this one. If you're not sure what your like cold brew sweetness level is, this is a great one because there's nothing actually added to the cold brew. It's all on the edges of the cup. So if you like a sweeter drink, you can just mix all that extra chocolate in, and then you've got a more sweet chocolatey cold brew. If you're not really a sweet person, but you want a little bit more flavor than just the cold brew, this is a great option because you can kind of control how much of that syrup's mixed in there. The other fun thing too is it's a good value because it is $7.29, but there's no ice. It's served cold and it's no ice, so you're getting more coffee, which is always good.
And there's like, I feel like the times we've been there's also not ever really a huge line at this location.
We accidentally rope dropped this location once.
Accidentally,
because I think we were on our way to do something like, you know what, I should just grab a coffee here. And we stopped and they weren't even like fully had everything turned on and ready to go yet because they just weren't used to people being there that early.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's great.
Over in Idlewild Snacks, this is over across from the entrance to the Matterhorn, if you don't know where this is. This has the cheesy garlic pretzel bread as well, but it also has a turkey leg. So if you're one of those turkey leg people, they serve that. I will not be ordering one of these, but people love them.
In Disneyland, I think in Disneyland Park, this is the only location that you can get a turkey leg.
Isn't there the cart in Fantasyland or Frontierland?
Oh, you're right.
I think that's the other place
that
you
has
can get
chimichangas.
One. Yeah, I think those are the only two places.
You're right. And then over in DCA, there's just like a cart that has them.
Yeah,
too. There's also a bratwurst. I don't think I knew that you could get this here, but there's a bratwurst with sauerkraut as well. And then right now for a seasonal
garlic chive brioche bun, that sounds amazing.
There you go. And then right now, seasonal offering, there is a Fantasyland garlic cheesy brat. So it is that bratwurst on the cheesy garlic pretzel bread.
And an all alpine almond delight that sounds amazing.
That sounds great.
With pastry cream and almond cream finished with sliced almonds.
Can we vote for that to be on their menu all the time? That sounds like a wonderful breakfast item.
And then for their beverages, they have soft frozen beverages. They have a frozen slush. You can get a Fanta Wild Cherry, a Fanta Blue Raspberry, a Coca-Cola, or a Minute Maid Agua Fresca Mango Lime slush. I feel like that Minute Maid Agua Fresca Mango Lime might be something that you would try.
That was the one that piqued my interest.
This one also does not have much of a line, and you can mobile. Is this on the mobile order? Maurice's is not on the mobile order.
Maurice's Treats you cannot mobile order from. Edelweiss you can mobile order from. And you know where else you can mobile order from? Our next offering, the Troubadour Tavern.
You love this location.
I do love this location. The Troubadour Tavern is wonderful, but often missed because it is tucked way up by the entrance of the Fantasyland Theater. So if you're not visiting the theater or going to the Toontown train station stop, you may not even realize that this wonderful place is there. There's all sorts of delicious things there. My absolute favorite thing, though, is their loaded baked potatoes. So the classic that they have there is the Troubadour baked potato, which comes with butter, sour cream, cheese, bacon bits, and green onions. And you're probably thinking, Teresa, why are you going to a Disney park and eating a baked potato? You can get baked potatoes wherever you want. You're right. You can, but I don't know why. They're really delicious. And sometimes it just hits the spot when you're at the parks.
Yeah, so they've got a lot of stuff. So they have the baked potato she was just talking about.
And then they have a lot of things that are lingering from Pixar Fest. Yeah. So there are other snacks. We won't get into those because those normally aren't there. Because we don't want to get anybody's hopes up because I don't know how much longer they're going to linger for. But there are, just in general, there's a lot of great seasonal offerings that do come to the Troubadour Tavern. It's similar to some of the other locations that almost fully swap out their menu from time to time just to be in theme with whatever's going on. So like when the Tale of the Lion King was going on, they had all sorts of themed eats that went in line with the Lion King show that was there. When Pixar Fest was going on, there was tons of different Pixar themed foods that were there, including a really delicious cold brew that I do believe you can still get if you're going sometime soon, which was the Up themed cold brew. It was so good. Well, it's that time again for our friend Eric over at Concierge to catch us up on other Disney news.
Hello, everyone. This is Eric Johnson with Concierge, and welcome to the D180. While Teg and Teresa cover all things Disneyland in the D180, we take a spin around the rest of the Disney universe, and we do it in 180 seconds. Let's jump right in. We begin our journey this week back in Disneyland again. If the hosts haven't mentioned it yet, please take a look into the Disneyland tickets for kids aged 3 through 9. These tickets start at $50 per child. 1 day, 1 park. They go on sale October 22nd, so there is still time to prepare. If you want more options like park hoppers or longer stays, there are plenty of options available as well. As always, our Conci crew is here to help you make the best choice for your Disneyland trip between January 7th and March 20th, 2025. While we're talking savings, let's just hop across the country to Walt Disney World, where the savings are stacking up. Remember that Disney Resort guests can enter Walt Disney World parks 30 minutes early. That's a free perk, and the park changes daily on your trip. Speaking of free, if you book a vacation package with Disney, you can visit one of the resort's water parks for free on check-in day. Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach are great places to spend a few hours. So check into that hotel, put on a swimsuit, and head over to the water parks for just a little bit. Maybe end the night at Disney Springs for some dinner and nightlife. You don't need to spend the full day price for a park ticket, but you still get an excellent start to your Walt Disney World vacation. Not enough? Fine. What will it take me to get you into this resort? Would room discounts entice you? Boom. $200 off 3-day, 2-night room and ticket packages, up to 25% off room bookings if you prefer. There is so much going on in 2025 that you may just need the help of a seasoned travel planner to suss out your best deal. For those who want to visit in 2024, hold on tight for the delights of Jollywood Nights. I did not intend to write that sentence the way it came out. Disney's Hollywood Studios is looking to improve on the experience from last year. Jollywood Nights is a relatively new party at the park, and Disney is stepping things up on the treat front. Do you miss Choco Tacos? Try the Taco Bauta Holiday Cookie, which is a very complex name for a chocolate cookie shell filled with cheesecake and a bunch of other sweet things that make it look like a taco and a cookie at the same time. Okay, that's great, but I don't really have time to talk about the rest. Look up the foodie guide from Disney's blog. So many sweet and savory treats across the park, even though I get to try out what's up at the Food and Wine Festival soon. The winter holidays are sadly outside my grasp this year. Maybe next time. The party is only going to get better every single year. I hope you enjoyed our quick spin around the rest of the Disney universe. If you would like to learn more about these Disney adventures, or you just have a few questions, please come on over. Visit the social media and websites of both DL Weekly and us, their official travel planners, concierges. We look forward to planning something special for you and yours. I'm Eric Johnson, and this has been your D180.
Thanks, Eric.
Your attention, please. DL Weekly Trivia is now leaving for a grand circle tour of the Magic Kingdom, with stops at New Orleans Square, Mickey's Toontown, and Tomorrowland. All weekly tiers for...
Hello there. Welcome to Trivia Land. How you two doing this fine evening?
Well,
Good.
we're all excited about all the fun news that was announced this week with all the excitement. So,
Well, there's been some weeks where we
Positive.
haven't had a lot of news, and this was a lot of news week. I think.
lots of good news
Yeah,
this week.
that's true.
There's so much. You would have thought we had a long queue to get into Trivia Land. But it's worth the wait, I promise.
Okay.
Four questions for you this week. One from me, three from listeners. Let's dig right into them. My clue for you this week is an audio clue. Can you identify this attraction?
Oh,
Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
That was
I was like, it sounds like a roller coaster of some sort, and then I heard the some part of it, and I was like, it's tough because originally I was thinking Matterhorn, and then I heard
me
the thing,
too.
and I was like, nope.
I heard the like wind echoing in the cave.
Yeah,
And I was thinking Matterhorn, and then there was like the woo, and then the clack, 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 clack. For sure, the clackety clacks.
yeah.
The suspense, right? All right. Well, that's question one. Question number two from listener Eric C. According to the book, The People vs. Disneyland by
Ooh,
David
I have that
Koenig,
one.
what are the three most frequently sued attractions in the park?
Ooh.
In fairness, Eric was only going to ask you the first one, but then said, hey, maybe you should ask all three. And I thought that sounded way more fun.
And he said
read this
attractions.
book.
Is it the? Does it have to do with the people like hurting themselves in the track on Main Street?
It could.
Is that considered an attraction?
I don't think we're considering that one an
Okay.
attraction in this argument, but
I know that
that's
one-
probably a good
I know
guess.
one attraction that caused a lot of distress for a lot of people because people do stupid things and get hurt was the People Mover, but I don't think that is that's in the question here.
Oh,
potentially.
can we get a hint? Are they current attractions or are they former?
All three are current attractions.
Disneyland or California Adventure or both?
All three are in Disneyland.
Okay.
Oh, poor Disneyland.
Well, they've been around longer.
Yeah, exactly.
The Matterhorn?
Oh, sure, like people's backs and stuff,
Yeah,
getting
the
all upset.
Matterhorn. I'm trying to think of like ones that maybe people have.
Do you think
an
like
issue,
Autopia from people like ramming the back of the car?
maybe.
I'm gonna say Autopia for one.
And I'm trying to think of like with the canoes.
Mm.
I'm trying to think
I'm
of ones
thinking
that
of
are
like a water
little bit
attraction
more
where
hard to get
people-
in and out of, like
Mm.
that you could slip.
Oh, Space Mountain, because you got to like get in and get out quick.
Space. I'm not convinced. Like the only one that's like really feeling correct to me is Matterhorn, which just probably means it's wrong.
Okay, well, I'm gonna do Matterhorn, Autopia, Space Mountain.
And space.
It's probably going to be something really silly like the railroad, or you know what I mean, like something you wouldn't think of.
It's Dumbo. I swear. It's Dumbo.
Mr. Lincoln. Great moments with Mr. Lincoln.
Yeah,
The heart attack from seeing him the first time,
Yeah,
it
there
just
you go.
built it up.
back when it was new and there were problems with it. And it was the hydraulic fluid looked like blood squirting out of him.
Say what?
I'm going to say Star Tours because I wonder if the motion
Oh.
simulator messes with people.
So what? You just have Matterhorn and Star Tours?
So far.
Okay.
And I'm going to say Splash / Tiana's. I mean, nobody's gotten upset at Tiana yet, but that attraction.
Ooh. What was my last thing? Space Mountain? I'm going to keep those, but I also just want to mention, just to put it on the record, I won't get a point for it, but just want to put it on the record, the teacups.
Oh, the teacups, yeah.
That is a quality guess.
I could see people being dizzy and trying to, being dizzy and walking out of it.
Or, like go to stand up and they fall over or something,
because they're dizzy. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one, too.
All right, I think that's what we got.
All right, I've got your answers locked in. No going back.
All right.
Third question from listener Stacia S. Approximately how many trees and shrubs are located in the Disneyland Resort, at least according to a Disney blog post in 2014?
Wow.
2014. Well, I can tell you in DCA, not enough.
That's
Plants,
true on the trees.
Would you say trees?
Trees and shrubs.
And shrubs. Wow. Cool. The whole resort?
The whole resort.
I want to say 25,000. I'm hopeful for my trees.
25,000.
Trees and shrubs for that guess, right?
And shrubs. Probably more than 25,000 then. With shrubs. Okay, we're bumping to 50.
Bumping to 50, okay.
See, I was originally thinking like 65.
Think of shrubs. Like, shrubs are not very big. We just learned that there was how many topiaries just in Disneyland alone. Which, shout out, I have had some people trickling in. We're doing group research on this, trying to figure out where all of the Disneyland topiaries are. There are 2 swans by the...
Mice Chat is punking us because their top picture for this week's article was 2 swans by the castle. And I'm like, are you listening to our show?
I know. They might be.
Us?
They're like, we'll show you where the topiaries are.
I'm going to say 16,500. And I feel like there's an imaginary me that's $1.
$1. All right. Last question for you from listener Lyric H. What is the number 660328 referring to somewhere in the park?
Oh, no.
28 is Mickey's birthday, right? Like the year?
1928, yeah.
66 would be the year that Pirates opened? Or is that 67? New Orleans Square opened? And 660328, I don't know.
Can I look up? I think it's spelling something. Can I look up what the
Yeah, of course.
What do you call that?
What numbers they would be?
Yeah, like the phone pad.
T9?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, sure.
I don't think it's that though.
I have a feeling.
Okay, so 66 is what?
MNO.
0
is a space. No space.
3
DEF.
2 ABC. 8 TUV.
No fat. FAT.
I think it has something to do with years, but I don't know what it is. So my answer is something to do with years, but that's all I know. Teresa.
No, eat maybe?
What? Do you have like a hint? Is this like in an attraction?
It's in an attraction.
Okay.
Can we know the attraction or no?
No. Way too obvious then. Maybe not way too obvious, but
maybe it's in Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and it's like,
is it like the different main versions of Mickey?
I don't know.
I'm stumped. Tag says generically years.
And Teresa's stumping.
Nothing.
And don't worry.
I don't think it's no eat.
We're going to say specifically wrong. But if you want to find out why they're wrong and what the right answer is, you got to wait until our discussion topic ends this week.
Yeah.
And that might answer the question of when can I see you again?
Oh, geez.
Oh. Well, for this week's discussion topic, don't you worry, we did not forget about some of the most exciting news that happened in this past week. That's right. We're talking one of our favorite ever parades, Paint the Night. I thought this would be a great time to discuss this parade. It has not been around for quite some time. I want to say it went away. Last time it was at the resort was 2018. So it's been some time, and we have not forgotten about Paint the Night. We love you, Paint the Night. But it was just teased that it is possibly, yes, most likely coming back, probably to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the Disneyland Resort. And I just want to talk about it because, unfortunately, it has been some time since this parade has been in the parks, that there may be folks out there that haven't experienced it or maybe don't quite know what Paint the Night is. Tag and I are big fans, so as soon as we saw the teaser, we were like, what's happening?
We've been talking about it for a long time, wanting it to come back for sure.
Yes.
You know, one thing I learned today? So my memory of this parade is not...
Versus what it is?
Well, not... Okay, let me clarify. My memory of the parade itself totally matches up with reality, so there's nothing weird about that.
Okay.
However, what does not match up was... First of all, there's a piece of information that I did not know. I did not know that originally the first version of this parade premiered at Hong Kong Disneyland in 2014. So before it premiered at Disneyland, because they built a second one for like Disneyland. So this is not, it's not that we have the Hong Kong ones.
Yep.
Yeah. And the Hong Kong one ran from the soft opening on September 11th, 2014, all the way to January 25th, 2020.
Wow.
Yeah. I couldn't find any information on the internet in my looking around as to why it closed.
Or why it didn't come back.
Yeah. So I don't know. But Disneyland, this is where my brain went, what? Is it premiered, soft open in Disneyland on May 21st, 2015. And then it closed on January 8th, 2017 at Disneyland. And I was like, that's not, I thought it was there much longer. And then it came back at Disney California Adventure from April 12th, 2018 to November 7th, 2018. And then it hasn't been back since. And my brain was like, has it been? Well, first of all, in my mind, it had ran for like 5 years before it went away. But that is not the reality.
Mm-mm.
We first went to you went, but we together did not go to Disneyland for the podcast until D23 2019. We have never watched this parade together for the podcast.
Mm-mm.
My brain
didn't know
imploded
that?
because I thought for some reason that it had been, I didn't go that much before 2019 when it was there. So I'm like, when did I see this so many times?
That big of an impression on
guess.
you. I think you guys were there for your honeymoon trip.
Yeah.
And I think you watched it multiple times.
We did. Every time we saw it, that it was like you with the electrical parade. Every time we saw it, we stopped and watched it.
Yep.
But I remember seeing it what felt like a bunch of times in DCA.
No, it just made that big of a... You never saw it in DCA.
I don't know where this phantom memory is coming from.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Maybe it was... I never saw it in Disneyland. When I went, Vern and I went out for the first Pixar Fest, and we saw Paint the Night in DCA. So maybe the myriad of photos that I took of that parade and then showed you... Maybe that's where the memory came from.
Maybe.
You were living vicariously.
Well, I
through
probably have also watched it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know, maybe that's where it's coming from. But I want to point out something that goes with what you just said. You saw it for Pixar Fest in DCA.
Mm-hmm.
This is another but thing that I was not 100% aware of. I did not realize when they moved it to DCA that 2 of the floats had been retired. They retired the Frozen float because it was too tall, and the Little Mermaid float, which was too tall. And again, my brain was like, what? Anyway.
It was interesting because people were sharing, there's been all sorts of photos being shared of Paint the Night since this little teaser. So to back this up, what happened earlier, late last week, this was posted on Friday, and I think the internet collectively, the Disneyland corner of the internet collectively lost its mind when Disneyland Parks shared a teaser. Like, you needed to know what it was, that kind of teaser. It was not, sometimes it's a teaser and they're like very obvious what it is they're talking about. This was just a close-up of one float. It is Mac from Cars, who is just one little tiny piece of this parade, and they just... The caption on it was, "When can we see you again?" which was the music from Wreck-It Ralph, but it was the music track for this parade. And everyone just lost their minds. They're like, what? It's coming back. And I'm pretty confident to say that, yes, Paint the Night is coming back. I'm sure it's in line with the 70th anniversary celebration because it's a big one, right? That's happening next year. So they have to do something big and awesome and exciting. And side funny little note that I don't think we shared on the podcast. I think we talked about this in one of our live streams or our public, either a supporter live stream or a public live stream. But when Tag and I were coming back one of the nights from the Honda Center, he was sitting next to the window. I was turned and talking to him. We were chatting about whatever it was. I think it may have been the Parks panel. Maybe it wasn't the Parks panel night. But anyways, I don't remember what night
it was. The last night.
Oh, it was the last
because
night.
we never went past it again. So I think it was the Legends ceremony.
Maybe.
No, it was Parks.
I think it was
Legends
Parks.
We walked over to the Terry Hardin.
Yep.
DLWeekly meetup.
So it was the Parks panel night. So we had an accidental extra Parks announcement that we didn't realize the full gravity of.
Sure.
So I'm sitting there, we're talking, Tag and I are sitting there chit-chatting, talking. I'm looking at him, so I'm inevitably looking out the window, and all of a sudden we're going past this giant warehouse, unmarked, of course, and there's a huge door that's open, and I see one of the floats, and I just very calmly say to Tag, because I'm not taking my eye off of this, because I'm peeking into the Disney behind the scenes, and I just calmly said, Tag, can you please pull up an image of what the Incredibles float looks like from Paint the Night? And he's looking at me funny what? Okay, why? So he does, and I'm like, I just saw that float. And he's like, what? Where? So anyways, we had our own little exciting thing, and then I was convinced, because I'm like, right? Why would this parade float be that close to the door? They put it's not tucked away, forgotten in some corner. Oh no, it looks like they're getting it ready for something. So yes. Very exciting. Both Tag and I love this parade. Everyone knows how much Tag loved this parade, because every time since it went away that they've brought the Main Street Electrical Parade back, Tag has gotten on his soapbox.
Somebody in the comments on the Mice Chat article that was talking about this said that they want this to come back to DCA, which I think would be fine.
I think it should come back to DCA.
But they wanted the electrical parade to come back to Disneyland at the same time, and so it would help spread people out. And I mentioned this.
Love that.
I mentioned this to James. Okay, this is gonna come at me. I don't care. I mentioned this to James on the way over here tonight, and James said, "No, not the electrical parade again." I said, if I could get away with it, I would find the parade floats for the electrical parade, and I would burn them to the ground.
But no, I don't think you need to do that. What you can do is, so the first time Paint the Night came, didn't they at one point the electrical parade was in Walt Disney World, so they could so Paint the Night could be the Disneyland Resort nighttime parade, and Main Street Electrical Parade could be the Walt Disney World Resort nighttime light parade. Or what's wrong with having the electrical parade and Paint the Night both going? I love that idea.
I don't disagree. I would love for Disneyland to have a daytime and a nighttime parade, and I think DCA definitely needs some more entertainment in the evening as well. So I would totally be up for that. I just want it to not be the electrical parade. I would like the electrical parade to finally retire permanently and glow away forever 25 years ago it was supposed to.
Yeah, but we've talked about this. They just redid that one float. It's not going to...
I did have a
They
thought.
wouldn't have gone to those lengths.
I don't think it'll fit with it, but I'm what if they bring back that last float as part of the Paint the Night parade? That'd be interesting.
Yeah, it wouldn't work. It's a much different style.
Sure.
I think they can both exist. Stop being a grump.
Well, you like the electrical parade and are in love with it. I also love the electrical parade. I just feel like everything has its time.
You just feel bad that you've been lied to so many times that it was going away and then it came back and it was going away and then it came back. And
anyway,
going away and came
Paint the Night. Let's talk about Paint the Night. So Paint the Night, which, by the way, while you were talking about that, when it came to DCA, I told you it got rid of those two floats. Well, that is when the Incredibles float showed up. So the Incredibles float was not part of the original Disneyland version.
Yeah, no.
It came with DCA. But let's talk a little bit about it. So the Disneyland Resort version, like we said, opened on May 21st, 2015, and premiered with the Diamond Celebration, which was the 60th anniversary of the park. It had over 1.5 million LED lights. It was the first all-LED parade that Disney had done. Special effects, and features 76 performers
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Remember you and I were talking about this? I actually sat there and watched the Main Street Electrical Parade versus Paint the Night to try, because for some reason in our brains, right, in our memories, we kept thinking that there was maybe less parade performers in Paint the Night than there was in Main Street Electrical Parade, or vice versa. Maybe Main Street Electrical Parade had less parade performers. We were trying to figure out why the Main Street Electrical Parade was coming back, but Paint the Night, we were trying to solve the unsolvable. And I remember you weren't there with me. I was being a nerd by myself, watching other people's footage, and I was counting how many parade performers were in there. And it was great. Like, it made sense. Main Street Electrical Parade did have a lower count until we got to the back half of that parade with all the, like, ballroom dancers. And then at that point, we had, like, the flag float at the end with all of the high kicking people. So there was way more. But anyways, because we were trying to make sense as to why does the older version of an electric parade keep coming back, but the newer version kind of got shelved as quickly as it did.
I wonder if we'll ever find out.
I don't know, maybe. But this parade, Paint the Night, is approximately 17 minutes long. So it's not a super long parade, and it's not a short parade. It's like the right amount of time.
Yeah.
And it has they just did such a good job with this parade. If you haven't experienced this yet and you love the Main Street Electrical Parade, Paint the Night is the more modern day version of the Electrical Parade. And they did such a good job with it, because same with like how Main Street Electrical Parade uses the Baroque hoedown, and it's like this catchy, everybody knows this tune, and it makes you happy and like want to move. That's what the When Will I See You Again music for.
And Baroque hoedown is in there too.
And they do have a little like nod to Baroque hoedown, and then a little nod to the Main Street Electrical Parade kind of towards the end, which I really appreciated. But it makes sense that this parade was built to be the predecessor, because it hits on all the same things, but the technology of the floats in Paint the Night versus Main Street Electrical Parade is just like beyond. It looks so good. The costumes that all of the like parade performers and dancers are wearing are just, it's incredible. It's so well done.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the different units that make up the parade. So the first unit for the Disneyland version that's been at the Disneyland Resort is the Tinkerbell and Friends one. This one is so cool. It's kind of like she's coming out of this cornucopia.
Yeah, or like horn or something.
Yeah. And she's like flying in front of it, which is really amazing.
She's like Tinkerbell on the stick, because she's not like up. She's like out from this float, if that makes sense. She's not just like vertical. It's like she's coming at you. It looks so cool. But yeah, she is the one that is kind of starting this whole thing off. The float is 40 feet long with 850,000 points of light.
Yeah.
And all sorts of video screens and all sorts of cool stuff.
And the California version, the back part of it has the drum that is reminiscent of the Main Street Electrical Parade drum, and Peter Pan's on that one, which, again, I think the reason that people like this, especially people like me who like this so much, is it nods to the Electrical Parade, but is like the modern version, which is why I like it so much, because I'm like, this is the like logical next step.
It does. It makes total sense. Look at this little detail too. Tinkerbell's wand is handmade, but it's capped by a rosette from the original 1972 Main Street Electrical Parade. And the little rosettes were the little like light caps.
Oh.
That's cool. That is a really cool, fun little
I'll have to
detail.
look for that next time.
Another fun little nod is the puppets that used to be included in the World of Color pre-show. There's Genie, Lumiere, and Tigger. Those puppets are also part of this kind of opening parade float. So it's giving a nod to not only Main Street Electrical Parade, but kind of the OG World of Color too. I had forgotten about those puppets until I saw.
I watched a video today because I was like, "Oh, it's finally happening!" The next float was the Monsters Inc. Dance Party. This one's really cool. This is 11 feet wide, 21 feet long, and nearly 17,000 points of light. It basically represents the scare floor.
Yeah, there are 5 animated
really
doors.
Cool. Yeah.
That are 9 feet tall and contain all sorts of LED video panels that like all sorts of like monsters kind of like pop out from, not pop out, but like pop up on the screen. So it's a very like
they open the door,
lively and interactive type thing. So that it's so fun. It's one of those that like each time you watch the parade and watch this float in particular, you're going to see new and different things.
Yeah. The next one is the Cars Electric Roadway Jam. Now,
This one's fun.
okay, see, Teresa, you like this one. I think there's a cool effect here, but of the floats is my least favorite.
My favorite is just the truck. Does that make sense? Like the truck bed, or like the trailer, the truck trailer. Maybe that's the way
like the cool lighting.
Yeah.
on it.
So you've got, and it's like a full. He looks full size.
It's a semi,
right?
yeah.
It is a full size semi. So you've got Mac right there, which Mac is the semi that drives Lightning McQueen around in the movie. But he's over 54 feet long, 18 feet tall, the longest moving vehicle in the parade. But the thing that's so cool is he's got these 3D light display panels affixed to the side that, I don't know, I love watching that thing as it goes past.
I do like that part.
It's like the endless hallway of mirrors, but it's all these fun lights.
Yeah. The thing I guess I don't like about it is like, it's huge, which is cool, but it's like just that one effect. Like there's not a lot of like characters or anything. It's just like the truck.
See, I just love watching all the lights.
Sure. The Disneyland version, this one was removed because it was too tall because of the red car trolley wires, was the Little Mermaid electric watercolors. This one I thought was really neat because it had a giant King Triton with kind of like this wave thing going over it, which just looked really amazing.
It was still there. So this parade float was too tall, so they had to remove the very top of the float when it went over to DCA. Because I'm like, I remember seeing King Triton.
That's what I thought too.
Or Trident, but yeah.
Yeah. So pretty cool. The Disneyland version. So the unit's followed by Nemo, his father Marlin, and jellyfishes, which are some of those fun. This is neat because they're like rope lighting that make like the jellyfish.
They're
things.
so fun. The parade performers that have them, they look like they're dancing.
A lot of the parade performers that accompany the floats have some really cool things. A little bit later on, there's ones that like spin their little side things and they can stop. That was really fun. Anyway.
After that is Candlelight Dreams, which is based on Beauty and the Beast, but it's got a bunch of different princesses that are there as well. But yeah, it kind of starts off with Beauty and the Beast. So there's Belle with her full gown, and honestly, like, her gown is kind of the front of the parade float. It's very interesting. But there are 40 custom designed jewels and all sorts of decorative lighting that caps the float in her gown. There's tons of video screens again as well that have images of florals and starry night skies, but there's also glowing candelabras that have some more dancers. And then there's also a Cinderella and Rapunzel also kind of follow. So the main float is Belle, and then there's kind of two smaller little pieces behind that have Cinderella and Rapunzel as well.
Which it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of interesting when you talk about it that like it's her dress,
yeah,
but when you see it, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Then there's a Toy Story Electric Rodeo.
This one's fun.
Which features Slinky Dog, which is 32 feet long, and his ears are 18 feet tall and 11 feet across, with Woody and Buzz. And so the coils glow with eye-popping, ever-changing patterns. I remember thinking that was so cool because there's like some spinning discs and stuff in there.
Yeah.
Jessie and Little Green Men are also there in the Disneyland version as well.
And they're kind of they're walking behind the float. This one, it's just so fun, and I think that's what's so beautiful. There's so many different colors and so many different movements of the colors that it's just mesmerizing to watch this parade. I was laughing because as you were going along talking about Toy Story Electric Rodeo, all I was thinking was, wow, I feel like we're announcing like the Macy's Day Thanksgiving Day parade or something, or the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade or something, because we're like saying how long the parade. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah,
that was very off topic, but I don't feel like I should be the one to talk about this one, but it is next up on our list. Frozen Fractals. I did not see this one because, again, remember, I got to see this lovely, wonderful parade in DCA, and this parade float was not present at DCA because of how tall it was. But of course, it was based on Frozen. It is the tallest, or was the tallest float in the entire parade. It was 35 feet long and 30 feet tall. It was inspired by Elsa's Ice Palace. So, of course, Anna and Elsa were both on the float. Olaf was there as well. There were some snow-covered trees with 3,000 teardrop crystals adorning those trees as well. There was a center chandelier that was made out of ice shards that were lit up by LEDs. Tons of snowflakes, little water jet cut swirls that are on the float as well. Super, super cool.
Well, the version that you saw, and I guess I've only seen videos, but I swear I've seen it in person.
We should have flipped this around.
Yeah, was The Incredibles, based on, of course, The Incredible things. This is neat because it's got the like drill that the villain was like using or whatever, and it's kind of coming out. And it features Violet and Dash and Jack showcasing their powers and ways. So I think this one looks cool.
It was a really cool float.
This is the one you thought you saw?
No, that was the float not thought. This is the float I did see in that warehouse.
Yeah.
It wasn't lit up, of course. That would have I would have fallen off of my chair if it was there and lit up. But yeah, it was so cool.
What's the grand finale float?
Oh, this one is also mesmerizing.
It is very mesmerizing. Like, my brain can't understand how it works.
It's so cool. But the grand finale, of course, is Sorcerer Mickey, who is the star of the celebration and is taking center stage, rightfully so. So he's riding on this, I don't even know how to describe it, but he's kind of on this platform that has these dripping down curtains of light cascading down, but behind him is the thing that's just mesmerizing. It's described here that
they're 124 paddles.
Yeah, that it's like paddles, but it's like this sphere that keeps it looks like it's like a sphere that keeps collapsing in upon itself.
Yeah,
is
I don't
the
know
best
how
way for
my
me to
brain
describe what it is.
doesn't compute.
It's amazing. And like the little paddles are changing colors and they're turning. So cool. And then the other thing that's really fun is joining Mickey on a series of whirly balls from Spectro Magic. So it's another parade throwback, nighttime parade throwback. But Goofy, Donald, and Minnie Mouse are kind of on their own little vehicles. They also remind me of the Main Street Electoral Parade because they kind of are reminiscent of the bugs and the snails and the turtles and those things. It's very similar to that, but very, very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah. The music for this parade is absolutely amazing. It has not only the Bro Down like we said, but it also has When Can I See You Again, which was performed by Owl City.
Oh, yes.
Did an arrangement for it and did it specially for the Disneyland version because the version that's in Hong Kong, of course, is done in Cantonese. So a little bit different there. Amazing. Also, some of the different units have different things, just like all parades do. So the Tinkerbell and Drum unit incorporates Second Star to the Right and You Can Fly. Monsters, Inc. incorporates the Monsters, Inc. theme and the Scare Floor. The Cars unit has, of course, Life is a Highway and Route 66, which I feel like the one thing I remember is the Life is a Highway because they really feature it.
Yeah. The Little Mermaid unit featured Under the Sea and Part of Your World. The Princess unit for Disneyland had A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes, Beauty and the Beast, and I See the Light. The Toy Story unit has You've Got a Friend in Me, as well as We Belong Together.
Frozen unit had Do You Want to Build a Snowman? Let It Go, In Summer, of course, and For the First Time in Forever.
Oh, there's a lot of music.
Yeah. The Incredibles unit had The Glory Days.
Mm-hmm. And for the finale, we had Mickey Mouse Club March, Zippity Doodah, and When You Wish Upon a Star.
Do you think when this comes back that Zippity Doodah is going to be removed from this?
Yes, I do think it will be. And yeah, I think When You Wish, come on, why isn't it just When You Wish Upon a Star, like techno version? That would be like just like icing on the like cherry on top of the sundae kind of thing. I remembered the Mickey Mouse Club March and When You Wish Upon a Star from my memory of watching it. I did not remember that Zippity Doodah was also included in it.
I did because the dude from Owl City like sings part of it.
Oh.
Because it's done in that kind of like cool, like modern way.
Sure. I think I was just too mesmerized by the globe collapsing, like continuously collapsing upon itself.
This is also
cool.
where those backup dancers have these two like spinning wheels, and they like spin them forward, but then sometimes they like rotate them back and forth, and they do. I don't know. It's very cool.
It's very fun.
I am beyond excited that this is coming back. So here's the question for you: when was last at Disneyland, Disneyland Park, not Disneyland Resort, Disneyland Park? They ran it for the holiday season opposite the Christmas Fantasy Parade.
Oh.
Do you think that...
So what do you mean? So
like
explain
Christmas
how
Fantasy
they
was
work
the daytime and Parade Night was nighttime.
Oh.
So...
Because right now, in recent years, Christmas Fantasy has been basically the day and nighttime parade. Interesting,
so,
okay.
Do you think they're going to bring this back for the holiday season?
No.
Do you think they're going to bring it back early in 2025, or are they going to wait till like May when they normally launch like the new celebration time frame?
That's a great question because I'm also not fully convinced that Magic Happens is gone.
Why can't Magic Happens be the daytime parade?
I'm not saying it can't be, nor am I saying I'm not fully convinced. I could be very, very wrong, and maybe it's because I saw and experienced this at DCA. I feel like it makes sense that it's Disneyland Park's 70th anniversary, that they would be putting it in Disneyland, but for some reason in my brain, I just feel like they're going to have this go to DCA.
I agree. I think it's a lot. I think the parade route at DCA is just better in general because it's a longer parade route. It's got more
space for guests.
For people. It's a little easier to navigate. I also think DCA needs nighttime entertainment.
Well, and they also just most recently been modified for DCA, unless they're going to like put the top back on that one float and
they
really
can still run the modified version.
Brush off the dust of the frozen float that's somewhere. So maybe it's going to be maybe it's going to just be an extended version because then you've got the Incredibles float back with Frozen. I think this will debut in the springtime.
Yeah, I'm just hoping. I'm there at the end of February. And I'm crossing my fingers that it'll be like when...
Don't worry, Tag. You will be there at some point next year when it's going.
I know, but I want... The exciting thing is, I think Alex would think this is cool, and he's going with us in February, and I'm like, I would love to hear him see this.
I don't know who wouldn't think this parade's cool. I mean, that's how awesome it is. It's so good.
Yeah.
Time will tell, because...
If there's any birdies out there that work for Disney and happen to know anything, again, we have an anonymous contact thing on our page that you can send us, and we will not report it on the show, but we'll just know. That would be wonderful. This Sunday, October 20th at 5:30 p.m. Disneyland time, we will be having our monthly live stream on YouTube. So go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/DLWeekly, and we will be on there talking about, do we have a topic?
Probably still talking about Paint the Night.
Probably.
Let's be real.
Yes, Paint the Night. So if you want to get in and talk about Paint the Night, that would be a great time to do that. And we hope to see you all there.
Looks like we're coming in for a landing, gang. But please stay listening until trivia comes to a stop. And then you can walk to the nearest exit. Thanks for listening to the 8th wonder of the world, DL Weekly.
Hello, welcome back to Trivia Land. My, that parade is wonderful, and I hope I get to see it again.
James thought that there was a period this afternoon that I was feeling like a little under the weather. I took a nap and then felt great. But James was like, do I need to host with you? I said, we have to record a whole discussion topic of everything. And he said, well, if all the discussion topics I might have had to cover, Paint the Night would have been one that I could have actually talked about.
So easy. We watched it so many times when we were there, every time, because it was so good.
It is so good.
See, I think you just have memories from the one trip and you're thinking it was multiple years.
Yeah,
maybe.
We saw it that many times. There were, like, every day we saw it at least once. Some days we watched it
But what
twice.
I don't understand is in my brain,
In your brain.
I have, what's that thing called where like the Mandela effect?
Yeah.
I swear that I sat on Hollywood Boulevard in DCA and watched this parade go by.
Where specifically do you think you were sitting?
I was sitting in front of Award Wieners.
Oh, okay. Nope, that's not where Verna and I camped out.
That is where I swear I saw it.
That all of my photos had been taken from.
No. Anyway, but I did look today for the episode graphic. I did look through trying to find. I don't have any photos of Paint the Night.
Oh, you don't? I've got a million.
Well, I already made the graphic. But anyway, James, let's figure out how wrong we were, apparently.
Yeah, let's figure out how wrong you were,
I thought you said
apparently.
we were going to have an easy time tonight.
I don't remember saying that at all.
Oh, wow.
But you can only blame the listeners for 3/4 of this.
Uh-huh.
Because the first question was an audio clue, and you got it right, because that is definitely Big Thunder Mountain.
Woo! And it's all down here from here.
Down here from here?
Down here. Had to build up the suspense on that clue to get you thinking until we got to those click-clacks. So I'm glad you recognized those. Our second questioner from listener Eric C. According to the book The People vs. Disneyland by David Koenig, what are the 3 most frequently sued attractions in the park? The correct answers are the Matterhorn.
Woo. Teresa, good job. And I got that one too. Cool.
The Autopia.
Oh, I got that one.
Job.
And Space Mountain.
Oh, I got all of them.
Good job, Ted.
My reading that book, something just was in my brain, I guess.
You worked your way to it. I was very impressed.
Wow.
So
well, I think we could just leave trivia for the rest of the night. I think that was pretty good.
You think you're done?
We probably should.
Yeah, anyway.
Our third question from listener Stacia S. Approximately how many trees and shrubs are located in the Disneyland Resort, at least according to a Disney blog post back in 2014? There are approximately 18,000 trees and 125,000 shrubs.
I was thinking that I was so close. I was like 18,000.
He was here cheering already. 125,000 shrubs.
Yeah.
Say, my 50 doesn't look so shabby now, does it? No.
Your 65 looks even better.
My question is this. Is it that the horticultural department has like a database, so they they number all the trees so they know where everything is?
Or at least a general idea.
I would assume they have an idea of what's planted in each box.
That is crazy, isn't it?
That's amazing.
Anyway.
Yeah. Talk about the amazing horticulture team. Like we always do. It's so dang good.
We need to take that horticulture tour that they have.
Mm-hmm. I want a private one where I can ask them a million questions.
I mean, you can always ask them questions.
Well, I don't want to distract from everybody else trying to enjoy the tour.
Sure.
Last question, the real stumper. I asked from Lyric H, what is the number 660328 referring to somewhere in the park? I changed this hoping that I would maybe give you a shot at it, because Lyric's question was, what is the door number that Randall Boggs calls in Monsters Inc. Mike and Sully the Rescue to make Boo's door appear?
Oh.
I figured you had no shot at that, but maybe you'd come up with something crazy with this one. So that is the number that Randall Boggs types in.
You know what's funny is in my brain, wrong part of the attraction, by the way, in my brain, I pictured this on the side of one of the CDA, is it CDA, Child Detection Agency, the yellow trucks. In my brain, it was stencil painted on the side of that after I'd given my answer.
See?
So my brain was kind of close.
It was getting there.
And now that you just said that, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I remember looking at the little pad thing.
Yeah.
Just had to be directed there. So I guess either way, Lyric's version or my version, you were just done for. So
oh well.
That was a good question.
It was
a good
great question. Lots of great questions this week, especially, oh my gosh, how many shrubs are there?
Mm-hmm.
Can somebody find a list for us? Just kidding.
A list.
The ever-changing list, I'm sure. So if you have ideas for questions like our listeners this week, or something else that pops into your head, we love asking these questions here in Trivia Land. Send producer Vern and I your questions by going to our website, dlweekly.net/trivia.
Well, we will be back next week with more Disneyland news and information.
Until then, go out and enjoy the parks.
And a special thank you to Sidel for editing the podcast.
Please remain seated until the podcast comes to a complete stop and the doors have opened. Then collect your belongings, watch your head, and step carefully from the episode. On behalf of all of our crew, thanks for traveling with us, and we hope you have a happy and memorable visit here at DL Weekly.
Bingo.
All right, Phil, we're recording now, so it's live. Go ahead. Pick on me the way that you want to.
Did I say that? I wouldn't say that to my son. Man, I mean, come on, man.
Just go. This isn't CBS.
All right, be quiet for a few seconds. Why would people want to listen to the Sims Complete podcast? Well, a couple things. One, if you like to see sons pick on their father, this might be the place. If you want to see a place where the father just kicks the out of his son, this would be the place. What do you like about it, Matt?
Ditto. Father-son dynamic duo talking about the game of football that we love and share and appreciate together. And, hey, it's an extension of what we did, right? Growing up, I was able to watch my father play football, then obviously watch him as a broadcaster. And then he taught me the game of football and share the wisdom that he learned throughout his playing career. And, hey, sometimes we're full of it and sometimes we actually know a thing or two.
Well, we do a lot of research. At least I do. You're a little spotty, but you hang in there. It's fun. I love doing this and it's been awesome.
Sims Complete. Check us out wherever your podcasts are available on the Believe Network. Appreciate it. See ya.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.